Hey, folks, and we are live with The Vice. Welcome, everybody. Hope you are having a great Saturday. We've got a few members of our cast out today, but the rest of them are still here, so we are going to jump right into this and do all the things. Sorry for a little bit of a late start as we were getting the last minute touches put on our screens and all that good kind of stuff. Anyway, let's take a quick swing around the room and meet our players. Let's start with Templar Warden.
Hello, I am Templar Warden. I am be playing the Tabaxi Wizard hidden by Axel and his created son, Riley. New intro. Yeah, looking forward to today. I have nothing more to say. Still waking up.
That's cool. Hey, thanks, Hawkeye, for the 1200 advantage for everybody out there. Hey, New Titans, how you doing? Next up is NNG9.
Hello, I am NNG9. I play Lunar, a Water Genasi monk, whose lesson is go to architecture. Pay attention in architecture school, kids. It's important.
It is important because there's things and stuff and things.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we have Good Guy Pie.
Hello everyone, I am Good Guy Pie. I will be playing Luck Goldard, Adventure Extraordinaire, all the way from Elevation Pit. And, let's hope we don't encounter any doors.
We shall see. We shall see. Last but not least, fresh out of bed, dragons are cats.
In all honesty, that's the truth, and it's gonna be the truth. I'm Dragons and Cats. I'm playing Vidar Sleepgrin, and very interested to see how today's session goes. Yeah, let's go visit some Riverlands. Let's go stay a night at the cathedral. We'll get in one of those nice dorms. Play a bit of volleyball if we must. Or croquet.
Croquet, yeah. I hear that's
Yeah.
what the Temple of Purity is their game, man. I'm Tall Squall. Thanks for joining us today. This is our ongoing persistent campaign. We're playing D&D 5e, and we've been going for almost 3 years with this campaign. This is our session 115, as things are starting to all sort of come together. Very much an altercation with the Temple of Purity has been 100 sessions in the making, quite honestly. And I think the party is ready for it. So we will just let you know a little bit about our channel. We do run it 100% for charity. This month we are supporting Mental Health America, which is a wonderful organization that is all about treating mental health much the way we treat physical health, which is through prevention and self-diagnosis and sort of staying on top of it much the way you would stay on top of your own physical health. If you would like to find out more about them, you can click on their name down in the description below, or if you click on the banner for Mental Health America, it'll go to our donation page where you can donate to affect the game and all sorts of other fun things on our little shopping list there, including our spell bank. We've got another 14 days before it's going to cash out, as we are doing it per charity now instead of per month. And so they're right now all the way up to a level 7 spell, which is teleport, where in our world is a huge deal because there ain't no teleportation in our world, except via this crazy whatever, if it cashes in. I know everyone's aiming for that big level 9 spell. That happens if we cross $1,000. But that is pretty much where we are. We'll get you a little catch up after we run our intro. And speaking of that, unless there's any more announcements, we will go ahead and jump back into the Vice. Okay, folks. So, stuff and things and stuff. Our party, after twisting a twist of fate, rewriting their relationship and the history of Florian, Gilderloin, and Nathaniel, the Arcana Mystica envoys back in Sojourn's Crossing, are now moving, traveling with them southward towards the conclave, towards Highmount. But along the way, they, having resurrected both Cilia and hatched a time-locked Balshirian, the Griffin, basically watched as Balshirian grew almost back to full size by being in close proximity to Riley, which is... I have got Axel and Luna and everyone in the wrong place. Wow. Just realized that. It's like, wait a second, everyone's in the wrong spot. But basically, watched him grow over the course of 2 weeks, the equivalent of 8 or 9 years in Griffin life, almost to a full-size Griffin again. Connecting with the party and all of them sort of taking a deep breath as they traveled for these 2 weeks towards down to the south of Sojourn's Crossing and into the Dulcimer Riverlands. This is where Iska is from. About 2.5 weeks into their journey, or sorry, about 2 weeks into their journey, they split ways as Balshirian and Rian, as he's now called, moved on southward to the Conclave, and the party peeled off to go cross-country across the beautiful Dulcimer Riverlands, this low sort of delta, very much not necessarily swampy, but definitely lowlands with multiple rivers, channels, canals that crisscross it, this fertile land down to the south. And that is where we will catch back up with our party, I believe. I need to do a quick little thing with some filters. Give me half a second as folks moved around. So I can get Luna back on her green with her noodle on her head. Try not to disappear her noodle.
I mean, we don't have... I mean, eventually we'll get a green tree python, but until then...
Until then, let's keep... There we go. I think... There we go. So, party, you all have separated off from Rian. What do you all want to do? How would you like to proceed? You know, it's about 3 days from Luna's mapping skills to the Cathedral of Purity, or the approximate location of where it is. There is a trail here that is not well used and high trafficked, but obviously others who are coming from the north to the Cathedral of Purity use this as a way, about a single trek path, but certainly not a main road like you were on before. How do y'all want to proceed?
So, what? We just walk up, knock on the door and say, "Hi, we would like to beat you in the face for killing a bunch of innocent people." Is that what we're doing here?
Well, are we going to talk tactics? Are we going to scout it out?
Well, I did discuss much of the layout with Brother Anthony. There are still things that we need a better understanding of, such as the main cathedral, the refectory, and I'd like to investigate that burning tower. Obviously, I cannot act as a normal patron. That will not go very well. And no, this is not a situation that should be rushed. This will take very careful planning. We want to ensure that the people who have penance to pay, pay it, and no one else.
So what? We just send a few of us in, do some acting, and hope they don't figure us out?
Really, all you'd have to do is express interest in learning. That's not necessarily a lie. St. Cuthbert welcomes many.
There's also the fact that we might be wanted. I'm too quiet. Yeah. There's also the fact we might be wanted. I mean, we've been seen. I mean, we know they want Luna, and we've been seen with her. So, I mean,
it is my understanding we have ways to disguise people.
Yeah. Just not sure how confident I am in those sort of disguises when, they got magic and everything. But, just something to be aware of, that some of us might be recognized just on sight if we don't have disguises. So, I can.
I think the last time I came in contact with anyone from Temple of Purity, back in East, I believe. Truly. But that was Ishgrim. Am I missing something here? I mean, I could move on in and go express interest.
Those who appear the most different from when we were here before would be Luck and you, Vidar. Granted, you are not really who you were before in a sense, so you would be easiest, perhaps, to disguise.
New and improved.
Yeah, slip past.
I could do that.
And Riley, yeah, we could scout out the surrounding area first. Entranceways, exits, ways up.
Patrol patterns, and it is my understanding that they use arcane magic in the guise of divine magic, so you may be able to recognize some things they are doing, Axel.
Yeah, that makes things work out. Yep, that's it. I can try to see what they have at their disposal, I guess. That might help us judge what we're supposed to be doing. But I think probably a good task is to judge the area, where we can get in from outside, and then maybe go and look inside.
Right. Oh, if we... Okay. I was thinking if we split our roles here, I can go talk with the people, get to know them, see who's who, get the names. Axel can find entrances and any magical detections, and Vidar can do his thing.
More than happy to do that. Run some distraction, get on in there. I'm sure I can lie my pants off in there. Didn't know why.
I think it best to stay as far away from lying as possible. If you say you were there to learn, that is true.
We're there to see the cathedral.
So, yeah, you're about, like I said, when you cut off, you're about
3 days out.
3 days out. Certainly we can, for expediency, the Riverlands are fairly benign, certainly to a party of your level. Camping, it would be no problem setting watches, simple watches. As you approach and start getting closer, about a day out, knowing that you're about a day away, you do see that the path that you're on comes together sort of at a fork with sort of a more well-used path. You can see it off in the distance in front of you. In fact, you've sort of seen it over to your south. for a little ways, as most pathways through here do follow the water and have to use the same bridges. Eventually, these two would all but merge. You do see pilgrims that seem to be traveling upon this road. It is a single track road, which you do notice wagons or larger sort of land vehicles would not be able to traverse this. You do see a few people on horseback, but most of it is people on foot in very sort of common clothes. Not many that are warriors, but all seem to be heading towards the same direction, heading towards the temple. Not many going the opposite direction at this point. There are farmers. There are some people who look like sort of traveling minstrels. There are others that are families, sometimes with a small, almost like a wheelbarrow type idea that they've got kids in. I mean, not full-sized horse-drawn wagons, but small sort of hand carts that they've put their children in to come this way. There seems to be a fairly good amount of traffic on this other, even though smaller pathway, not the size of a main road. As I said, it's about 200 or 300 yards. You can spot it off to your south. And up ahead, you can sort of see where your pathway would sort of merge in with that. You can proceed however you'd like, either sort of truly go off the beaten path and stay off this main trail. It is fairly flat, but unlike the Dragongust Plains, there is plenty of cover here. Tall reeds, there are willow trees, lots of cover and brush. So while if you were not careful, people would see a party of people sort of not walking on the main road and sort of out in the fields and out of cross country, but with even just a slight bit of attention to your sight lines, you could stay out of sight of the main road.
I think perhaps we probably do that.
Is still the issue of horses as well.
Yep, you all do have 6 horses with you.
Oh, that's true. Is the temple basically just kind of like off to itself with like a bunch of land around it, or are there other structures near it?
The only person who has seen it, you've seen the layout of it, but did not give you a whole lot of the grounds. You do know it was on a area of high ground that, again, it began to expand larger than sort of the island that it was on, and then that island itself began to sink somewhat down into the ground. So you know that there are grounds around there. There's not a huge area of grounds outside of the compound, but the compound itself does cover acres of land. It is, it is a large. It was, again, the Bardic College beforehand, so it does have a fairly large grounds, but there's not a lot of it truly outside of the island, or if there are any parts of it that have sort of been taken back over by the swamp. Axel, in his vision, did get a view of this structure, which he assumes to be the Cathedral of Purity, this sort of white bleached coral and limestone buildings in his vision, very much looking almost like the bleached bones of a large creature sort of squatting down here in the middle of the Riverlands.
So I guess maybe we, so yeah, with all the horses we have, we're gonna probably have to stick to the main road, otherwise lose the horses. But
certainly, there's places where you could tie the horses up as well.
Okay, so we could,
but you know that if you needed them, they're gonna be however far away that you tie them up.
Yep. Maybe that's for the best, though, just because, trying to scout secretly on horseback is perhaps not going to go the best.
Yeah,
And we
you would
definitely
say
wanna
there's
look-
probably only 1 out of 20 to 30 people who are on a horse coming into this.
Yes,
area.
it'd be real noticeable. Yes, I think perhaps we go off the beaten path, find somewhere to tie the horses, and then
Yeah.
proceed from there.
Because even if we're traveling along the road, as we are with like a full party of horses, is going to be noticeable as well.
Yes.
So the people going that way are going to carry stories of us.
Yes.
So even if we
Um,
don't show up.
Anyone who's trained in survival can do a survival check to find a good spot where the horses could be tied up and
Shoot-doo. Come on, where's survival? So, that is.
Celia's trained. I haven't even looked at that.
Oof.
Can
On
we
a-
say Celia aided luck, so he has advantage?
I was going to.
sure.
How many
Again,
people are trained in survival? 3? 4?
3 of us, I think.
yeah, 3 of y'all. Between the 3 of y'all, if you want to roll, feel free. But again, lending your aid with a 26, you are able to find an area, a copse of trees that has plenty of vegetation where they could be tied up and would be able to subsist for a couple of days and not lack either food or water. Would not be a problem. So, not much of a, not a big deal for you guys to do that. Basically, the next sort of nice grouping of trees that has a nice spring in it, you all are able to tie them up. And any preparations you want to make, you're going cross country, you say, not going to go down to the main road. That's just making sure I heard right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
So you all tie up the horses, and we will need a little bit of navigation here, but Luna, you can do so with advantage, cartography tools, as you do have maps of this area. Not super detailed, but certainly
25?
cardinal directions, all of that. You're able to navigate the party out across here. It is a little bit slow going, as before you were on a somewhat of a trail. Here you are crossing through fields. There's a few places where you actually have to sort of leap across streams, sort of ford them a little bit. Nothing where you have to go for a full swim, but that you have to get across. And as you get to about 2 or so in the afternoon, it's unmistakable, all but impossible to miss. You begin to see peeking through trees, a few big oak trees that mask part of it. You begin to see this large compound of buildings. It is stark as it sits out, as because between the limestone, which is all but pure white, and there seem to be coral rocks and bricks that have been used to fill in between these large limestone blocks. It is this massive structure of buildings. For you, Luna, having you've had the floor plans, but to see it in its full 3-dimensional space, you're able to spot some of the main areas that you had identified before. You see there, sort of in the center of the structure, this large, almost 4 stories tall, central structure, which seems to have become the cathedral. It is unmistakable, as you can see towards what would be the entrance of it. There is a large, shining, either silver or platinum disc above the main doors. Connected to it as well, there are these structures, this sort of the rectory, and some of the old, what might have been classrooms or dorm buildings, about 2 to 3 stories tall, that create a courtyard to the northern side of it, that you would know as being where the rectory is. And there seems to be just a sort of mishmash of buildings. There seems to have been potentially at one time another courtyard as well, but it is in ruins. Other buildings either weren't completed or literally caved in on themselves. And then to the south side, you can see the remnants of this this large tower. The tower seems to be somewhat intact. However, it is tilted at a precarious angle. It sort of leans almost into the main cathedral somewhat. You could almost call it that maybe it looks like a bell tower, but it is obvious that this is not the intent of this tower. It was once something else, and just through overtaking of this structure and these buildings by nature have led it to lean somewhat and does not seem to be in use. In fact, that and whole south side of the campus, so to speak, even the main cathedral building is precariously close to what would looks like very low reeds, water, marshy type area on the south side. This is, again, you guys are probably 500 yards out or so that you can peer across and see this. You do see this trail of people coming in. There is one last bridge going across onto the island. It is about 50 feet long, a narrow bridge. You do see robed figures standing on either end. And while there's not a wall around this compound, the buildings themselves give a little bit of a perimeter to it, but it's not like a walled fortification or anything.
Okay.
You do see immediately on the other side of the bridge, there is as you were wondering, there are grounds there. They seem to be taken over right now with makeshift tents, small structures, as where pilgrims have seemed to have set up some place to stay. That they've come here and have set up a sort of makeshift. It's almost like a revival, Old South revival. You kind of have a few bigger tents that seem to be taking care of lots of people in robes and pious garb. You do see that it seems to be sort of ever-growing camp. People here in the afternoon are just settling in, getting some tents set up, as though they've arrived early to stay for a couple days.
Okay. Probably, and we're still 500 yards away. So
Yeah.
Wasn't here.
I assume that, provided that he is alive, Master Knot is most likely to be somewhere in the south where most of the traffic would be. Because the south part of the complex was the kind of sort of abandoned part, right?
Yes, the south is where the tower is, and there doesn't seem to be any building other than the tower, other than on the south side. On the north side is where you have this group, sort of a quad of buildings that might have been dorms or classrooms, 2 stories or so, that attach directly to the cathedral and then sort of make almost like a J hook around. There is an opening into that area. You can't see inside of it, but you can see that just because of the buildings, the way that they're shaped, you're able to spot that it sort of forms a courtyard that you can't see into from where you're located here on the north side. So the north is the rectory and old sort of classroom buildings. Center is the cathedral. On the south is this one ruined tower.
Alternatively, I suppose he could be where they're keeping my people.
Question: did Luna share the information that Brother Doormaker?
Brother Anthony.
Yes, she would have.
Brother Anthony. Yeah. Okay. So the suspicion that there are underground tunnels and stuff as well.
Yes.
That's we can either of those. We can scout, look around. I can climb up buildings.
I could dimension door up into the top of that busted tower. work our way down from there.
That's a bit more visible than I was thinking. I mean, visibility.
Well, yes,
Or
but
just be sneaky.
that's true.
Celia-
Can't hear
Celia
you.
smiles and
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we need that
I can't hear you.
For that. Oh, me?
Yeah, you keep dropping in and out. Is that just me, or is that...
No,
No,
I think
you-
that's the way I'm talking, probably.
okay.
Sorry.
I do think some amount of forward scouting still needs to be done before we actually try to infiltrate. And that forward scouting needs to be done in disguise, because if we sneak around and we are spotted, they will be on alert and perhaps change from their normal routine. It is best they be as unaware as possible.
Iska offers that she can disguise Luna using her song, and offers that as help. I'll let you guys figure out how you want to do. She does say perhaps small groups instead of all as a lodge.
Yes, no, perhaps.
Pairs?
Yes.
Pairs.
Pairs.
Looking around, what is the demographics of the people arriving?
Do me a perception check.
Would it stand out that there are two tabaxi? Is the question, really. Or, hey, an elf.
On
Easy.
a natural 20,
Jeez.
Oh,
yeah,
ah,
Nice.
Belgian blues. Hey, I know.
see
My
everything.
radiant soul patch. You were seeing that. There we go. Please. Dirt, dirt, dirt.
true paladin style.
Yeah, true paladin style. There it is.
That's perfect.
But on a natural 20, you do see people from all walks of life, apparently. You don't see any tabaxi right off. Just tabaxi are somewhat rare. However, you do see lots of other races represented here. One of the things that you do notice on a natural 20 is that there at the bridge, there are sort of these greeters, sort of more formal looking members of the Temple of Purity in sort of nicer, well-kept robes. You also see sort of circulating back in the crowd some in just plain sort of gray robes that have been rough dyed. You see that they are wearing similar robes to what you saw of the couple of Genasi that were in East. They have shaved their heads, and you can only tell pretty much by their skin color that they are in fact Genasi. They have hoods over their heads, but with a natural 20, you do catch the outfit mainly catches your eye from the children that you rescued over in East. That they seem to have some of those that are moving around, handing out again these small medallions to people who might want them for alms through the group. But as far as elves go, you do spot a couple of elves. You don't see some moon elves. You do see some sun elves, as there are some sun elf enclaves down here. In fact, Celia is from just north of here, over on the coast. So, which was a sun elf community, not certainly the nobles of Balathira, but sort of more common folk of sun elves.
Farming nobility.
Yep, farming nobility.
So you will share this information. So there's a mix of people. There's there's roaming. We've got Genasis in there with grey hoods and stuff, just like in East. Yeah, a mix of all sorts. They've got greeters, and then they've got people going around handing out medallions.
Because this was also, is this also where the choir was, or was that
Yes,
somewhere?
this is where you had heard, or Celia can chime in,
Yep.
that when she talked to the new bishop of Hieronius in Falcon's Crest, that the old bishop had found an artifact and had gathered together some genasi and took them with him after the culling and brought them here to the cathedral, and became apparently the leader of the Temple of Purity, this bishop of Hieronius, now the bishop of the Temple of Purity.
And
With the staff,
Presume-
actually, because since we've talked that with the staff.
in the vision, did they wear the visionals? They had the choir. They were all in those grey robes.
The choir was
Then
actually wearing
masked?
white robes, and
White robes.
they were masked.
And they were masked. Okay, cool.
So it's not common knowledge that they're actually Genasi since they're all masked, or do the people also know that they are Genasi?
You do not. From the vision, you just know you saw
that they were all
the one girl, presumably Lily, who
Yeah.
with her hood down, her white hair showing, singing, her lily white skin, but the rest of them around her had these just plain white masks and hooded robes. So you don't know what people think.
Okay, fair enough.
Number of people that meet. I get so focused I forget how many people we need to secure during this.
Celia goes, "I'm not leaving without my sister."
Yeah, we.
Well, if I do go in there, is there anything? I thought there wouldn't be any giveaway for who your sister would be then,
I mean,
unless we pull the hood down, we wouldn't know.
They all
well, the
want
hoods
to
so you can
release.
see inside them. So.
We can't let this person continue.
Hey, Celia.
Hey!
Jeanette!
Speak of the level.
We can't simply let him keep using them like this and deceiving you. There's
No.
nothing wrong with arcane magic, but you cannot go around and try and convince people that it's divine.
Words are just as powerful as any spell. That's why.
Yes.
As you
Celia,
recall, with that deacon back on the way to Sojourns, got the whole crowd riled up just with words.
Exactly.
That's something to be worried about.
Yep. Iska chimes in. She goes, "There were a small group, even when I was learning my bard skills, that were learning how to influence in religious ways, incite the zeal in people, help them guide them to be all but overcome by religious experience. That could be used for good or could be used bad. Their skills are not unlike my own."
It is how, as you say, it is how you use those skills, not the skills themselves that are the problem. Or can be the problem.
But this is not a matter of just getting the Genasi free. This is a matter of destroying the temple, or at least destroying the upper echelons to the point where they can't organize again. At least quickly. I mean, I don't know how far we can even achieve. There's a lot of people here.
There
What if
will
we
be
start a
a lot
fire?
of ears to hear us.
Wouldn't work.
damn it.
It's a stone building.
We cannot simply destroy the structure. There are people who, ignorant or not, don't deserve to be killed for that.
right.
Yeah.
The ones who are responsible for this are the people who need to face justice, not the poor people caught in the crossfire.
That's why I said destroy the temple, and when I mean destroy the temple, we cut off the head, and then all the other heads that come from that one.
Yes.
Destroy the metaphorical
The temple isn't the people, because it's just a goddamn building. But yeah,
I just want to be
Axel
clear,
is...
we're not blowing up the building, guys.
Yes, just clarifying. Never was a plan. I mean,
Nobody hear
hey,
any kind of
if you wanted,
fireball.
hey, if you wanted everyone to die, Axel has a death snake.
We don't need a death snake in this situation.
See,
Are you sure about
that's
that?
not
Have you got a
necessarily true.
charisma
Maybe
snake?
we need a death snake. The death
We
snake
might-
just doesn't need to touch everybody.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It's
He's
gotta
not. He does
slither
not.
its way carefully.
Do you have a convince people not to be brainwashed snake up your sleeve?
No, we just need to get rid of, remove the bad influence, and get rid of it, preferably with fire. Sorry.
I got my death snake back here.
Yeah.
He is
Hey.
fierce.
Aw.
That snake.
Angry noodle. Angry noodles.
Yeah. Fear him. He is mighty.
Um,
Sorry.
yeah. So playing. So Celia is like, I can sneak, and Iska, says, I can try to pose as just a bard. I could go be me.
Perhaps that might work then, as I am good at a number of things. Lying is not one of them.
People love
Sure.
me. I'm great with the kids.
So, how do we want to divide up our business? Celia obviously can be quite stealthy.
I can sneak. As confirmed by Trick or Treat. I can sneak.
I can sneak. I can snick.
I can
Neck.
You all can if you want to do a, let's see, what would be a good check for this? Either perception or investigation, just to sort of try to evaluate, task to talent of what's going on.
20.
Yeah. I'm gonna make an investigation check on that.
Yeah. Nope.
What is with my rolls today? Yesterday I was rolling terrible.
Vidar's
I'm glad
like,
you're
I can do it all.
I won't get out.
Look, I have Lyle on my side. I'm good.
So, Luna and Axel, basically, with between having the plans and now having it right in front of them and sort of seeing how things are going, certainly, you're able to sort of peek around and look and maneuver your position. The main cathedral does have people going into it right now. However, there does seem to be quite a lot of social interaction as people are going close to and entering into the building. So it seems very much that there's going to be some social interaction involved with heading into the main cathedral. The courtyard where the rectory is very much. You see people being turned away. Hey, thank you, Tiny Raid. Thanks, Wandering. You can see that does seem to be have more eyes on it, so to speak. There seems to be not just the normal robed figures there. There are some armored folks there who do have weapons, as though there are some guards involved in that area that would need to be avoided or to work your way around. As far as the tower goes, not a whole lot of people around there, but obviously there is terrain considerations. As it does semi-flooded, it is partially in ruins. You would need to find your possible ways to get in there, and just the actual the skill of maneuvering around there would be a bit more difficult.
Because I was personally thinking, so as far as like the talk to people thing, Luck and Iska, sneaking, Celia honestly might be best on her own. No one tripping her up. Because like Luna could go with her and like do the pass without a trace to aid it. That was the only thing. But I was thinking Luna and somebody else would navigate the flooded tower. Because of course Luna doesn't care about the water parts. Just like whatever.
Right.
Takes skill to move it around, yeah, but it's like she's good at dexterity or something.
What are your what are your thoughts, Axel, as far as for you and Riley as well, whether you want him to come or stay?
I think
And Luna's no point assumed that Riley will be part of this because he's like, that's your son.
Yep.
That's between you and him.
Yep. He probably doesn't want to involve Riley. Axel might be maybe willing to be on the sneaking team.
That's true,
But
Axel is
he
also
wouldn't.
pretty good at
That's
that.
true, and also climbing potentially. These are
invisibility.
multi-story, and you have invisibility. So
Yeah, so
he
Dan
would probably
you on the
maybe
little
ask-
factory Team. Sorry,
Sorry?
continue your sentence. Nope, continue.
Yeah, no. Ask Riley to go with either not go in or go with the people who are not going to be sneaking around. Riley is no good at that. If there's anyone who's not just going anywhere, because I mean,
Unless
Vidar
Riley
going?
just wants to, I know it's a ways away, unless Riley wants to stay with the horses. That's also
Yeah,
an
if Riley
option.
wants to stay with the horses, because
Riley's a little distinct, let's say.
well, he's a tabaxi
no, 'cause
right
he's-
now.
he looks like a tabaxi right now. So
I'm sorry.
he looks like Axel. So
Oh, that's right.
Because of the
The
cloak,
actual
yeah.
sun.
Actual
cloak.
son.
hey.
How about you, Vidar? What are you thinking?
So we pretty much have Team Snake organized at the moment.
Yep.
Axel and Zelda.
Axel and Celia, and Luna is going to more than likely be hanging
Team
back
Tower.
this time.
The
Team
tower,
Tower.
the flooded tower. Yeah, the leaning one.
Yes.
Yeah.
But who's that going to be with? Or are you just going to be going by
I guess
yourself?
that would be, I mean, you're
Oh,
welcome to come.
I was thinking Team Tower would be Axel and Luna, and Silly would be Solo.
Oh, okay. And
Oh, I thought you were thinking Axel because of invisibility was going to go sneak. No,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
so-
what I thought too.
I mean,
Either way.
the tower. I mean, we can still sneak. We still got need to be sneaking anyway.
absolutely.
It's just still
There
is.
are terrain. It's a different set of sneak.
Indeed.
That's true.
So
Yeah,
like-
no. So and then.
So Axel and Luna will go really well together to get that
Yeah.
snake going on for that tower.
Up
Whereas
the tower.
Yeah.
Luck and myself can be the eyes on the ground. So long as we keep in range, we'll still be able to talk to each other and communicate.
Yeah, that works.
And in the end, Axel. In the end, even Axel, like Axel Luna, are nowhere near as capable as Celia, and we would slow her down, or be liability.
Well, Vidar, one of the things, what you could do, thinking of being mission control, you do have your mask that gives you the down view,
That's true.
which would lend advantage, which I would say mechanically would lend advantage for folks who are in outdoor areas needing to time, quick crosses and stuff. That you would just have to be that you would have to get in because it's 200 feet in the air, which we said was a 45-degree cone. So basically, you just need to be within 200 feet of, again, maybe Team Sneak or with Celia to be able to assist Celia in some of her sneaking.
I think I'll do that then.
Okay.
I'll definitely go on and put the mask and just try to do the formality things and just have the wonder.
Yep.
Get a tour.
And what we are going to do is do you have access to Celia's sheet just so that you've got something to do while all this is happening? Let me put you on
I
there.
do not.
Let me put you on there.
I always find it so very interesting to see how everyone else has their character sheet set up, because I know it's so different being from a DM to a player's perspective,
Yeah.
and all my other players' character sheets are different.
Okay.
My sheet's always a mess. That's all I can guarantee most people.
So we've got Iska and Luck heading in the main cathedral. We've got Vidar and Celia on Team Sneak going towards the rectory and the old dormitories and
Did I say
classrooms.
refractory?
And then
Darn it.
we've got Luna and Axel on Team Tower. And right now, Riley's going to hang where he is.
Yep.
And just sort of
Stay safe.
stay safe. Okay.
Because we're doing horrible, horrible murder things.
I mean, we
Right.
could put him in the ring, but he'd be able to see out from
We're
that. So
doing
no.
murder. That doesn't necessarily make it horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, you could always put him in the ring. That's fine.
if he's willing.
Also true.
Oh yeah, he's like, yeah. And then if you need me, I can help. So I'm not way far away.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that was in
That
there.
would be a best idea. And
So
cool.
Riley goes into the ring.
Because as much as it's Vidar. Actually, no. I was going to say, as much as Vidar, when it comes to the ring, I can reasonably trust him. Then I realized, no. Because there's that one moment where he took Iska out of the ring.
Hey, it saves Iska's life.
Iska's life. But, and Philly's life. But,
Left her to put the cat in.
who's...
So
Yeah, so, I'll ask Celia just to keep an eye on him, please.
and she will. So this is a new mechanic that I'm trying.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do? Let's start with Flooded Tower, and we'll see how this goes.
Okay.
So, first thing, tell me a little bit of how you want to, how you're going to approach.
So I think even on the approach, definitely pass without a trace to aid with even just getting up into the area to
Mhm.
try and help with that.
Okay.
Um,
So you go ahead and pass without a trace. So I assume you're all are stealthing. You staying invisible? Are you going invisible, Axel? Or are you just going with pass without a trace or how you approach
Well,
it?
I mean, if Luna wants, we can both be invisible.
I'd still put the. I might need it. I
You
still
are
put
going
the
through
power
water.
trace.
Yeah. The trick is you are going
Yeah.
through water, so there's still going to be ripples and stuff. So
So what I was gonna say was that. So the pass without a trace, once that's up, it's up. Luda, being a water genasi, can kind of do like the part the water as we go through it, and then let it settle back naturally.
okay. I will say that you can
Sneaky.
certainly control ripples. I'm actually going to kind of say that is how your pass without a trace is manifesting itself.
Yeah.
Is that basically, whereas normally as you're going through water, there's not a whole lot of way to mask the ripples that you would make, is that your water genasi heritage is actually basically calming the waters as you pass through. So you're slipping through them as though they were glass instead of necessarily as true water. Question of invisibility, your call, one way or the other.
That's you, Axel.
I think you'll hold off on it until
Okay.
either we're deeper in or we need it.
Okay. So go ahead and do me stealth checks with +10.
One.
Ooh.
Wait, is that all right with the +10? Oh, no.
No.
21. 21. Got it. Sorry.
Yeah, 21.
21 and 36.
I'm concentrating real hard on this pass.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
she's busy trying to be. Like, Axel doesn't want to let her down.
Also, she's probably just nervous at the moment, being like, "Oh, okay, now we're doing this." So there's just a little bit of one eye twitch, a single eye twitch.
I'm a leaf on the wind. I'm a
Leaf on the wind, yep.
I'm a leaf on the wind.
What if I'm a leaf on the water? Oh no!
Huh. Oops.
Well, that causes ripples. No leaf on
Yep.
the water.
So you all sort of backtrack a little bit and go around, find a sort of gap in the crowd where you're able to sort of get across to the other side, to the northern side of the cathedral in this building, and then move through. This area over here is, instead of it being a river, it really is almost like a marshland on this side. You can see how it would have been able to sort of swallow up part of this school on this side. And as you creep through the area and make your way around towards the tower, as you get closer, you can see where a large portion, perhaps there was another tower or another building that wasn't here that all but collapsed and fell in to this sort of marshy area. As you get closer and closer, the under the water, it's sort of this dark, sort of tea-stained water, so you don't have good visibility of what's underneath it. You do find yourselves sort of tripping over top of submerged rocks, stones, blocks. So I need both of you all to make me a either acrobatics or athletics check to not sort of fall and splash into the water.
I was going to check something real quick before we. Okay.
Okay.
So that, I'll just make the check first, and then we'll deal with it later. You said acrobatics
Or athletics, either one.
Because I was going to say if it continues to be super dark going on, that she'll go ahead and drop key on dark vision, because that's not concentrate.
You're only like up to your knees or so. It's the water itself is dark, not you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the
Sorry,
water.
I
It's
misunderstood.
dark water, so you can't see through the water, and
Okay.
so there's hidden snags and stuff
Got
underneath.
it. Misunderstood.
Yep, no worries. Yeah, no, it's still. That's the thing is, it's like 4 or 5 in the afternoon. It's not super late. On a 16 and 26, you all are able to write, but Luna, actually, you a couple times sort of slip a little bit, get a little bit wetter and deeper than you normally would have. And you do finally find yourself at the base of the tower. You do see that there is a door semi-submerged on this side. There also are areas where it seems as though it's sort of off its hinges and kilted to one side. You are able to go in fairly easily, and what I'd like you to do is each make me, you can make your choice. No, actually, we'll say this is a 1-in-1. I want each of you to make me a perception check, and each of you make me a investigation check, as this will be what you all are able to find in this scouting report to share back with the party.
And... yeah.
I'm gonna run an advantage on that investigation. Thank you, donations. 19.
Yep.
19 perception, 19 investigation.
19
There you go.
perception, 19
Works out.
investigation, and then we got a 9 and a 15. Okay. So, with the 2 19s, the two of you will find in your handouts. Look at me, I made handouts. Should see a new Cathedral of Purity scouting reports and the things that you have found. There are 3 different levels. You all did make the top level, so you get what was detailed in all of them. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to do this for all of them, and then you all can get back together and discuss as a group what all you found. Do me one
High
last
five.
stealth
Team
check
flood.
on your
Sure.
on your way out, just to make sure you sneak out and back to the meetup point. So yeah, a 27 and a 31. Yep, you guys are able to sneak around, no problem, and make your way back. Next up, let's go with. Yeah, we're gonna save the social one last. Let's go with Vidar and Celia. So, how do you want to do this?
As a note, would Vidar have been able to leave the cat with the horses?
Sure.
Just wonderful. So
Now,
with
whether the cat's
that-
still going to be there when you get back is a whole nother thing.
Just,
but
isn't there 2 spaces in the ring?
there are 2 spaces.
Yeah.
But he's got something in mind.
I've got something in mind.
It's never straightforward with either
No.
Kyle or Vidar.
No, yeah, no, this is dangerous. I like
This
it.
is the roll of the dice. All right, so they've got a much more stealthier. Stealthy approach. So we're going, just to get in my mind right, we're just going to sneak around the cathedral, getting
The rectory, yes.
in the rectory. Okay, and the foot traffic on that building is minimal at the moment.
There are guards. There are
Oh.
how are you all approaching? First thing, are you?
So, first of all, I look at Celia and go, even in all black this time of the afternoon, you are going to stand out. So, if you do not mind, I'm just going to pop you in. There we go. And I pop Celia in.
Sure, we'll say she's willing. Okay. Twink.
Thank you.
She probably, yes. You're not here, Jeanette, to say no. So yeah, you go in the ring.
I just imagine her. She gives you better not mess up look before she goes in.
She'll basically
Like,
go, I've killed you before.
Yeah, that sounds like Celia.
I correct her and say, you nearly did twice. You've gotten close. Then it's just a pout. So, the rectory, guards at front, and God, what is a rectory?
It's where like the clergy stays in a monastery or around church. Think of it as college dorms. I mean, college. Think of it as very much dorms and classrooms in a college. It's two-story and three-story structures that are basically divided into smaller rooms for either residential purposes or for teaching purposes. And it's shaped in sort of a quad. So the buildings are on three sides. There's only one entrance into the courtyard, which has guards on it.
Cool. So as I approach, Vidar has a book out, and he's more of in a wondrous state in this. Walking through, just has this book out and is writing in this journal. And as he approaches, he goes, "Excuse me, guards. Excuse me. Looking for my dorm room. I said it was supposed to be on the 3rd level." Wait. No, I said that assuming there was a 3rd level of the building.
Right. So, but first thing, let me do it before you go that far. Let me do do me a perception check.
I'll do a perception check. I'll use that at advantage. Thank you, chat. Thank you so
have
much.
to call it beforehand.
Dang it.
But
I'll use that luck dice.
Okay.
There you go.
Perception. Dang it.
So, if you'll find in your journal, you will. I'm going to do this one a little bit differently, just because this one's a little bit different. You will find a superficial on your 11. You will only, at this first glance, get a superficial look at the rectory. So you will see. Just because I think that will change what you were thinking of doing.
Yes, it does. So that changes a bit. So
I think this might have been the way to run this, is that you basically get the first one and then you have to roll to see if you get the second one and roll to get the third one. I'm liking that better as this mechanic. But y'all were so awesome, It was just Team Tower was just too awesome. They jumped right to
Team Tower did that easily.
Yeah.
Team.
I mean,
I was gonna
Team
say
Rectory.
Vidar, we gotta make this painful.
it's
Exactly.
actual an investigation.
Oh yeah, truly.
Okay, so looking at that, every entrance room in groups of 3 around the perimeter. Okay. And how many guards did you say were at the very front entrance to the quad?
The very front entrance of the quad, there are 4 stationed there, and then you've got the roaming ones as well.
Okay, at that point, I'm going to not approach, but Vidar is going to hang back in the general vicinity, trying to not look suspicious. Right? And so wait. It goes rectory, tower, cathedral, but it's all in an open plan on a higher race ground, correct?
Yeah, it is above the water line. There's a river to sort of a stream that comes by on the north side, and then on the south side it's like a marsh. It's as though this were an island between two streams, but one side basically just has become flooded in a marsh.
Okay.
On the south side.
And foot traffic here is at a minimum, correct?
No, there's quite a few people around. Again, this is sort of, you have to get through this. There's sort of the camping area. In the quad itself seems to be very restricted access. Out in there's sort of a main area out in front, which is sort of this pilgrims camp that is arranged sort of in front of the main cathedral, what would be on the east side. So if you think of the actual cathedral building in the dead center, to the north is the rectory, the south is the tower, to the east is sort of the bridge that comes in and this pilgrims camp, and on the west side is the backside of everything, and there's nothing there. Well, you can't see it. You have not been able to explore that area.
Okay. I'm going to play the tourist card. Vidal's going to pull someone aside, someone who looks official in the eyes of the Temple of Purity, what he perceives as an official from the Temple of Purity, and see if he can approach them. He pockets the ring. He doesn't have Lyle on him at the moment.
Do me a investigation check to see who you can find.
15.
On a 15, you don't see, you see these guards around. You don't see a whole lot of high-ranking members. You do see some of these lower-level acolytes who are going around. You don't see any of the Genasi ones. They just sort of seem to be lower-level acolytes in very sort of simple robes, gray robes with the silver trim of the Temple of Purity.
Okay, I might approach a group of them.
Okay.
As I approach, I say, hello, excuse me, I'm very new here. I've been traveling a very long, far distance. Is there any way reprieve from the elements outside? I just do not know. I've come to write about this place.
Pilgrims are welcome to set up accommodation here in the outside area. Unfortunately, there's no other places for us to place people. It's quite a big weekend coming up.
What's coming up? However, I'm sorry. I'm from Falinari. I do not.
Oh, it's the Call of the Faithful. Tomorrow.
Oh, I see. Huh. And please, what is the Call of the Faithful? I'm sorry. I've come very far away, and my doctrine and circumstance do not align.
It is.
With,
the bishop will be holding a service, and the choir will sing it, and there will be miracles.
Oh, well. You see, over in the east, this is far and flung away from what I know. The presence here is outstanding. Now, what time would this be taking place?
Oh, at noon.
Noon, wonderful. Noon. Just around lunchtime. Wonderful. I'm very excited to see that. I'm sorry, but may I ask your name?
Oh, me? Stand by. I actually have these written down. I'm Vance.
Vance. I'm Vinnie McLean. Wonderful to meet you.
Yes, lovely to meet you as well.
I'm a far-flung writer from over in the Elven capitals. Now, I am just wondering about the history of this place. Would I be able to... Is there a tour offer at all or not?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, there's not. There's much to do. So we're trying to get prepared for the ceremonies. Everyone is quite busy.
Ah, I see. I'm sorry to have taken up your time.
Peace be with you.
Peace be with
Pure
you.
of spirit. And they bow and sort of scuttle off.
Vidara just writes down pure spirit, noon, miracles, question mark, right, ... So that's a little bit of nice bit of information. He's then going to try continue his way, having a glance just around the area, and he's going to set up. He's going to set up and just sit by the rectory, and as he does so, he's going to pull up his book and look like he's sketching and drawing. But at the same time, he's going to just quickly put on the mask and be like, Look like he's sketching in this book, and then try to look at the movement of the guards and how they're proceeding to try find like a sly opening.
Do a insight check for me.
Cool, because I'm good at insight check.
Double nat ones.
I'm rolling with it.
Oh.
Wow. Do you have another luck die?
That's just too bad.
I mean, that seems like the fates have spoken on.
I was going to say, on this one, I'm going to have to say, this is GM intrusion. This is the fates have spoken.
The world.
As you are sitting there, and you... Celia inside the ring, but is stuck inside the ring, is screaming at you, because for inside, she can see that a much more fancy robed figure has approached one of the guards and has pointed you out to them, sketching. And they approach you. The guard approaches you, goes, "Excuse me. You can't do that here."
I'm sorry, what?
The
Takes some mask. Draws the mask back.
the parishioner, the chamberlain, looks at you and goes, "I'm going to need that mask. We don't appreciate spies."
Spy.
Oh, I know
very
exactly what that does.
So I can get and I'm gonna pull the book over and just show the sketch and goes, "Do you not appreciate the elven works?"
I don't appreciate someone who has shown up here, obviously not a member of the church, plopping themselves down and basically peeping over fences. It's considered rude. The mask, please.
Now you must learn, I am far from east. I come from Falinari. I am just here to write a little bit of information for a novel.
Abort!
You act as though we aren't familiar with people like you who come here acting like the faithful and then slander us in their books and their drawings and make our faith seem to be less than what it is.
Do you really think I'm
and
going to
need
slander
leave.
you?
Yes.
Can
The
I make a
mask
deception check?
and leave. You can, it's at disadvantage.
Okay. I'm going to spend an advantage to make it a straight roll.
Okay.
Wow! Oh no!
The world has got.
We should have
This
left
is-
the door with the horses.
This-
Would
this-
have been better.
This is the equivalent of someone getting grabbed by the collar
Why
and
is
thrown out of a bar.
This is why you would have Celia. Oh, God,
Celia
Just
in the
leave.
ring.
Sleep.
Celia
Just
in the
fucking
ring
leave.
is
What dare you.
just Well, she's sharpening her rapier. She's just like, I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him. It is the most stumbling, bumbling lie. As you actually stumble over the word Falinari and the names of where you're supposed to be saying you're from. You in your mind you said that just as smooth as can be, but what came out was just awful.
What?
They call the
I
other
was like, I know where I'm from. It's from this place that I totally remember.
that place. Yeah,
I'm not a spy officer.
pretty much. They call the other guard over, and in fact, one of the roaming sets. You now have 5 guards and this chaplain.
Just leave.
You need to hand me the mask and leave now.
Going to close the book. Going to pocket the quill. The book goes back into the bag.
Thank you. Pure spirit to you, friend. I assume
Yeah, grab it back in Dimension Door.
I will not be seeing you at the service tomorrow. Good
All
day.
this way and for nothing. Good day.
The guards follow you back across the bridge.
Part of me deep down was just expecting I punch him in the face.
Uh,
What about it?
Really expecting that that's what just fucking Dimension Door. Leave. Just leave.
dude, sorry, but I can't.
No, that was awful. That is what should have happened.
I can't not go with 3 nat ones in a row.
Yeah.
I gotta lean into that, buddy.
Yeah, no, that was. Those
Well,
rolls.
that was unexpected. So yeah, that whole. Well, at least you got the superficial rectory one instead of getting nothing.
Ugh.
Okay.
What happened to just letting Celia stealth? Wasn't she stealthing? I thought she was stealthing in addition to this happening.
I thought the plan was for her to sneak.
Yeah, no, actually, I did honestly think that she was going to sneak, and Vidar was doing this to aid her in sneaking. Not that he was doing this instead of
Yeah.
Well, that's the
her
thing.
sneaking.
I was assuming
because-
that you were. I was assuming you were prepping to then be looking from above for her to go sneak in.
Yes, I was, and then it all
Oh,
fell
okay.
to pieces.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it just fell.
Yeah.
It fell to pieces. No,
It was
that was my
going-
understanding was that you were setting yourself down to be basically look like you innocuous outside to then give her advantage on all of her maneuvering inside.
Yeah,
Then we
Yeah.
misunderstood.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
bad.
I
We
failed
both
completely.
Misunderstood
pla-
it the same way. But yeah.
Yeah,
The
I'm
plan
sorry, I failed to
was
set
going
up the
ahead.
plan.
The plan was going ahead. It just failed.
yeah, failed to launch.
The
Little
weak
fa-
point of the plan was the plan.
Yeah. Yes, unfortunately. Let's Luck and Iska, you see Vidar being escorted out by 5 guards as you come walking across the bridge. So how are you all blending? What's your plan? Are you
I'm just walking up as me.
Luck's being Luck. Iska is Iska sort of puts her arm through your arm to sort of look like there are other young couples here, and you very much can look like a young couple. She actually has her instrument out, obvious on her, as though that she is a bard coming from Highmount. That would make sense. And do me a. We're going to start with an insight check for you guys is all to blend.
I will spend a advantage on this and drop it in.
I'm just going to roll straight for Iska just because since she's not here. But so insight. I was going to say unless she's just got tons and tons and tons of stuff. She usually saves those for combat and things. So unless if she nat ones or something, I'll luck die because she's got 7 of those. But on a 12, with your 21, luck, you know people. If nothing else, you know people, and these are actually very much your people. These folks are pretty much common working class folks. They are, farmers, workers, laborers, lesser merchants, people who spend their day. You see lots of fishermen that you're able to spot who work the land. That's who these are. These are sort of common folks. They're among the tents. Iska does seem quite comfortable. There are quite a few folks doing sort of oratory, talking sort of scripture, the language of purity, doing a little bit of sort of street preaching, so to speak. But it is very much, there's a lot of people who greet one another, wish each other peace. Purity of spirit does seem to be the greeting as you go along. And we will go ahead and give you your first level of the superficial main cathedral and see how you want to proceed. In front of you lies the cathedral. It is huge. You see these 5 greeters at the main door, and you see people who do seem to be flowing in, even though you're not sure if there's a service going on or what's happening. But there are folks who are flowing in, and you should have access to that now in your.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Just gonna keep going, move with the main flow of the crowd right now.
Okay. So as you sort of go with the main flow of the crowd, you pass by these greeters at the main door. That one of them shakes your hand, wishes you purity of spirit.
He's gonna use his gauntlet hand in this case.
Okay. So you reach out with this gauntlet of not helm. Torm. And they shake your hand. They sort of look a little bit not offended by it, just kind of surprised, as this is a beautiful piece of work. And as I said, there's not a whole lot of wealthier people here, and certainly just the upkeep of your clothes and your equipment certainly shows you as sort of a wealthier person. As you pass through this narthex, so you sort of have the main doors, you go into the inside, you see another group of greeters here. That would be the doors into the main cathedral. Do me a perception check.
Righty.
I'll do one for Iska as well.
22.
Look at you. On an 18. Sorry. This one I'm going to not read out. I'm going to let you guys have this for discussion as we get back to the main one. And you can just let me know from what you read if there is more things, what else you would like to do.
Okay. Commons, a few more wealthy patrons, paper, crowd. Okay. Right. He's going to walk up to some of the off-duty guards, sort of not wanting them to try to interrupt the ones who are on duty.
So out in the congregation, so you move further in to there, and you do see some open seats, and you're able to do me an investigation check to find what seats are available. I'll do one for Iska as well.
Ooh,
both of you on an 8. So as you go in there, it's pretty crowded. You aren't able to discern much more. In fact, you're able to get some seats, but as you sit down, you see that most of the folks who are around you sort of shy away from you and don't want to get too close to you. You are a bit intimidating, quite frankly. Both Luck and Iska with her charisma, maybe for some of these commoners a little bit too much. And so you are able to stay for the service, but you aren't able to glean a whole lot more information from there.
All right.
Service ends and you guys are able to leave, and you guys can all, as the sun begins to go down, make your way off the grounds fairly easily. As there are people coming and going, you see a lot of people actually.
It's Celia!
Hey!
Lots of people coming and going.
Lots of people coming and going, including Celia.
Hey.
So, woo! Actually, tell you what we're going to do. As you guys, again, make it easily off the grounds as people are coming and going. A lot of people going to fish. Some are going out to forage for some food, as there is sort of this makeshift camp of quite a few people and pilgrims all around. And you guys, we're going to take our break here, and I will get the cameras all fixed when we come back. And we're going to let Luna tell you a little bit about our charity and pun of the week and recommendations by our good friend Guga Pie. So we'll be right back in a second to see what all the party has learned and how they might want to proceed after some successes and some failures.
Celia, do we want to try again?
Yeah, nope. That's pretty much this is what these are the. Like I said, I want to try out this new mechanic of this idea of scouting reports and different levels of them. So we will say that is the information you were able to glean. And we'll be right back, folks, as we see after the break, we plan. Be right back.
Great. Hello, everybody. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. This channel is run 100% for charity. The charities change every so often. Right now, the current charity is Mental Health America, an organization dedicated to helping people with diagnosis of risk mental illness. Just like you go for your physical checkups, you got to go for your mental checkup. And there should be no shame in getting help. They have lots of great resources on their website. If you'd like to know more about their everything available from their site, please click on the purple letters in the description below. If you'd like to donate to the charity through our channel, please click on the banner above that, and that'll take you to the proper page to do a donation. What all can you do with donations, you may ask? For any amount, you can add to the spell bank, and at every $100 increment, the party gets the chance to cash in at a higher level spell. So 100, level 1, 200, level 2. The exception being for the 9th level spell, that occurs when we hit $1,000 in the spell bank. For $1, you can give a player a D10 healing dice that can be used to a free action, has to be used on self, and they have to be conscious to use it. And that's not always an option, as we find out when we're dealing with assassins. There's the advantages, as you saw us use earlier, a D12 Bardic Inspiration for $3. For $5, use a luck die, which is a mulligan on any die that isn't a death roll. $10, give a party member a potion from the party punch bowl. What's the random thing? See what it is. And for $25, donate an Action Surge to a player. Let us all pretend we're semi-fighters. But please don't feel pressure to donate. You can also things like share through their various social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all number of things. Otherwise, we hope you enjoy the show and stick around. Luck, do you have a recommendation for us this week?
I do. It is not a book today, nor is it anything else. It is a video game. And play Code Vein is all I'm going to say. It is an amazingly good game. It is one of the best Soulborn games out there because it's so well done. The combat is smooth and lovely. The difficulty, well, if you want to have a bit of an easier time, you can bring one of those companions along. If you just want to go ham and try your best, well, you put on some of the weakest plug codes and you do away with your companion and you go try hard mode. The game's difficulty is amazing. The story is thoroughly entertaining and the character customization is wonderful. And there is DLC promised coming, so there is going to be more content in the future with that game. It is going to be good. It is an amazingly good game. I've been waiting for its release, and I have been playing the hell out of it. Yeah, that is all.
Cool. So there's that game.
Play
What was the
Code
name of it
Vein.
again?
Code Vein. Play it.
Gotcha.
Perfect. But now that we are done with our recommendation, it's time for everybody's favorite segment, Pun of the Week. What do you call a turtle that gets into photography?
What?
A snapping turtle.
I was thinking snapshot, but then it didn't work.
You're welcome.
That's really bad. That's really
You're
bad.
welcome.
Yeah.
Speaking of turtles, I got to hold one.
Ah.
Yeah, cruise.
It was so cute.
Where'd you go?
We went to Grand Cayman,
Nice.
and they have a turtle sanctuary, I guess is what you call it.
Yep.
Then I held a turtle. I also fed a bird. I got to be a Disney princess for a day. It was great.
There you go. Turtles and birds.
What a way to come back into the game. Disney princess, wonderful.
Oh, I'm on my phone. I can't be on Roll20. So.
Okay, we've got people who can roll for you. So, okie dokie. Y'all gather back at the at sort of your meeting spot, about 500 yards away from the temple. This isn't where the horses are. Horses are further away. But after your successes and your failures,
I popped Celia out on the way there to have a conversation.
Celia's, yeah. I don't know whether you were watching or not. Do you kill him?
Yeah.
Do you stab him?
Yeah. I was watching. Yeah.
Were you cringing as much as I was?
Oh my.
3 nat ones, man. That just hurts. It just
That's
hurts.
why you never say, "Oh, I'm good at this," because if you say that, that is a cursed sentence. If you say it, you are going to nat 1.
It's true.
It happened.
It's just the way it is. Not once, not twice, but
Thrice.
3 times. So you guys all sort of meet up back over here. Like I said, there are some of the other pilgrims and stuff who are sort of not quite as far out as you are, but certainly on this side of the bridge that leads into the Cathedral of Purity. Like I said, they're doing some foraging and stuff. So there are some folks around. You're not completely alone, but you certainly can have good enough view to make sure you're not being overheard or anything like that. Hey, these knees! So, you all each have your scouting reports, and y'all can figure out what you want to do. Feel free to share what you know.
Well, I'm recognized. But there's going to be miracles held tomorrow at noon.
Great.
And at the rectory, guards are at every entrance in Roman groups of 3, and they are able to recognize people such as myself and bar them from getting in. And we'll probably be on the lookout for people like myself. Not Celia, she wasn't there.
He put me in the ring.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
I had one job.
See, look, the execution failed at the very start. The ideas were there, but the execution was off.
The execution you were responsible for.
Yes.
The execution that could have possibly led to your own execution.
I'd be surprised, to be honest. See, look, the plan, well, the way I thought about it was just to set up the eyes and then bamf the Celia out at the best possible convenience, and then Celia could make her way with me Yeah.
Best intentions aside, this is the information we have of the rectory. Moving on.
Right.
Sorry, Celia.
I can't decide if that's Jeanette reacting to you or reacting to something in her apartment.
Why not both?
A little of both. It's like, do I hear? I can't hear you. I'm not. We're we're not talking now. So do someone else?
I'm not
hear
listening to this. I'm not listening to this failure. This is. There's a bee in the air.
Sorry, something showed up on the TV and it just left me.
Yeah, through you. Okay.
It threw me. Delia says, if I need to, I can go back.
Well,
I'm stealthier on my own anyway.
you did say that there was
Delicately so.
miracles happening tomorrow.
Yes, a prayer in the at noon. God, why have I already forgotten that? Because it's
That
7 a.m.
explains the
that's why.
pilgrims.
Yeah,
Yeah, they said the choir would be performing.
and the choir would be performing as well.
And this
So-
would be our best opportunity for access to that.
Yes.
So match the vision. Because the choir was there in the vision.
I really just hope that an actual torrent of water doesn't just, metaphorically speaking, that's probably going to be the truth.
Did you gather anything from Mar?
Oh, a chaplain now knows me by face and took my mask.
And take your mask.
You just
Took
let
my
him.
mask.
Why didn't you just leave?
I got the feeling that he wasn't going to, let's see, let me leave without making a. If I did not give him the mask, it would have been a bit more of a fuss. I had a couple of guards around me, so I felt
Okay.
the more peaceful option would be.
That works.
It's-
And,
It's a lesser magical item. And instead of just thunder stepping away or casting magic, I didn't want to escalate any further than
yeah,
I
no,
could have.
that's reasonable.
So I didn't make it
It's
worse,
done now.
but it's
Yep.
not going to get
It is,
better.
isn't it? Yeah.
Right.
Well, they may be on guard, so we'll just need to be careful. Although,
Right, so there's about 5 people at the main gate. They pretty beefy people as well. They've got 2 on either side of the doors, and sort of they what's the narthex?
Narthex is sort of like the area, like when you walk in the first doors, there's sort of like an antechamber before you go in. So the narthex is that sort of antechamber before going into the main part of a cathedral. So it's sort of a holding area. It's basically like where they, it's where the bride waits before she goes down the aisle.
Oh, there we go. Easy enough. Got one of those circling that area. They're inside. They've got lots of common folk, people like me, fishermen, builders, the like. It's pretty easy to blend in if you don't stand out. I'll put it that way. They've got a few wealthy people here and there, but it's mainly just the common people. The 4 of them seem to be quite heavily armed. Those greeters, by the way, they got some weapons on them. So those people, they expect trouble inside there. I'll put it that way.
yeah, that's the impression we get from
Yeah,
Vidar's story.
yeah. They've. It's not just the guards who carry weapons, apparently. There's probably others that are hiding weapons under their clothing. I would imagine. And 10% of about 1 out of 10 people will go with that because luck doesn't do percentages.
Yeah, sorry.
What's a word?
Of the 1 out of 10 of congregation. I don't. The congregation. The people gathering. There we go.
Yeah, it's not.
Are planted. Seem to be part of the Temple of Purity themselves. They seem to have their eyes out for trouble. They've got scouts. That's the word.
They've got a lot of security and just like personnel. Maybe they've got more enemies than we know of.
Well, they did mention people come here to slander them and their faith all the time, so if anyone would actually act on it. Also, a threat is at large. Luna.
Us.
If they've heard word of us being at Sojourn, then
It was the priest who got away.
If they've heard of, I wouldn't doubt they'd have more enemies. I don't know if they would have more enemies here, though.
That's the thing. I don't know if we could take advantage of that at the moment, or...
Well, they've got the campsite. We could... Well, some of us could have a walk around, see what the general consensus of them is. The general population, well, no, common folk seem to... We chatter, we gather, we natter. We know...
But that's the thing, they're all here and they're all believers. They'd all side with it.
Are you sure about that?
Oh.
You don't know until you check.
Well, I know that.
They're all here to see a miracle.
Correct.
A fake miracle.
That is what we need to focus on. I don't think we'll have much luck convincing people before that.
No.
You're welcome to try, but I do not think it's worth the effort.
I do want to see how dedicated these people seem, because most this is most of the time this is a comforting thing for a lot of people. Religion is what we do. Back in town, the elders were our say all be all. Made us know what we were doing every day.
And if the miracle fails, then that may very much shake the common folk enough to
question at least,
and then when there's no longer, then when we deal with everything else, they are not as much of a problem.
Iska does chime in and go, in just the camp, people seemed fairly friendly. Everyday folk. I mean, I don't think they're all bad.
Absolutely not.
Was there anything at the tower?
We did get to the tower. It was a bit of a hassle to get to. You had to go through the water. You can't really see much, especially if it was dark. You would have trouble just getting through the water to there without, splashing and tripping. And there's a cat. I did notice up in the upper areas. Seems to be maintained. Somebody's been working on the tower. They've put wards up of different kinds. They've put on illusions, they've put shields and wardings, and they've put on alarms. So there's something in the upper areas of the tower that they're clearly protecting. And the lower area towers seem a bit more broken up and unkept. Doors, animals, those sorts of things. There's something big in there. Don't know what it is. Don't know what sort of things live around these lands that hunt and found the bone and stuff.
Lots of things, Iska says. She could. Yeah, there's things grow pretty big down here.
The fact that it hasn't been removed means that either they have a need for a big thing in the way, or they don't care enough, which is weird considering that the higher levels up there have shielding and stuff.
That's weird.
Why would it
Seems
have
like perhaps
shielding?
there's something important up there.
Yeah, clearly.
And if it's important, I want to know.
Would you say it's shielded in a way that one could not get in from the outside to the building? Such as-
Potentially.
Okay.
I can't determine much other than sort of the types of spells, so there's an illusion hiding things. It might be that the tower itself is, a lot of its details are illusionary.
Well,
It could be a bait, is wards abjuration to wards of many different kinds. They could be, palpitation, they could just be detection. And then there's of course just alarms in general. It's only on the top floors as well.
I mean, how much magic are we going to need to focus to dispel and get through these if we were going to investigate the tower? Do you think you'd be
think they're-
tapped by the end of it?
Probably, considering that they seem to be a bit more. They look like there might be, an alert alarm to each room, so to speak. It's not like a, chamber defenses as opposed to building defenses. It's like,
So we can't just bamf in. Wonderful.
probably not.
We don't want to raise any alarm before tomorrow's miracle either, do we? We don't want to lock the place down.
No. But if we know how to, if there's a way we can possibly disable those alarms, there's perhaps something that can affect what we can do tomorrow.
Well, simple alarms are easy enough to disable if you can spot the incantation and just damage it. It's all the other wards that are more difficult to spot and take down.
To these points, that I really wish I had Ishgrin's side of this. That'd be very handy right now. See the wave.
So perhaps we need someone ready to go
Run
into those
decoy.
upper areas of the tower while there is something pulling people's attention tomorrow, such as a miracle not working.
Well, I'm just wondering if these are all shielded and defended like this. They might be the rooms of the casters, and if the rooms of the casters and the casters, some of them would not be in those rooms during when they're supposed to be casting this miracle.
And if a disgruntled writer just so happens to be in that tower, Vidar smiles, but then puts it away.
Just imagine him taking a smile off of his face and tucking it
Yeah.
away.
Then just putting on a flat
Yeah.
frown. Head ahead. So from what I understand, to do these illusions, they hide in small little alcoves, right? To
I
See.
believe so.
so very vulnerable locations then. I mean, if we're going to do anything, we can get rid of them. That would be a time.
just damaged the sigils in the alcove. Is that what you said?
No, Axel's saying, assassinate these guys while they're individually alone.
Yes.
Oh,
Tucked away in a
Yes.
small little room.
Yes. Murk them. 86.
Murder these guys.
Right.
No,
I mean,
that's the
that's
same
the way they
murder.
look. He's just aware that luck is here.
You should deal with them individually.
No,
Star's having a day,
at all.
so he still goes, what? What?
You know,
Hey, that's
exactly.
a loud TV.
There you go.
Well, I could try. I mean, not as good
Yeah.
an assassin as Celia, but
I was gonna
hey,
say you kind of have an assassin with
What?
you.
Yeah,
You kind of have someone who.
It's like
Why
someone
would you
who's-
try? We've
I know,
seen
but-
what your trying does.
No,
Yeah.
all I'm saying is, wouldn't the resources be allocated better if we're going to do this at the exact same time at the miracle? To then, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
If-
it's certainly a plan that we can.
If I can do this right, they won't even have a chance to scream.
Would you like any support?
Yeah, I think even as
We saw where that got him last
No,
time.
no, actively no at this point. Just doing it by herself.
Well,
I think she needs someone's help. Who's really good at being quiet and murdering people?
Looks at Luna.
well
It's-
Vidar,
I mean-
Vidar takes off his ring from his nub finger, just hands it over to Celia, and says, "Well, make use of that how you will."
I'm presuming we brought Riley out when we got back.
Yep, you can bring Riley out for sure.
Riley watched all of that go down too.
Yep.
Oh
So
god.
this, me and Celia on team. Oops, sorry. Assassinate with great prejudice.
And actually, you'll be real quick at getting around, presumably as well, because the problem is presumably they're on both sides of the room of the chamber.
Yep. Actually, I wanted Luna. I mean, we went through this. In your plans, yes, there very much are. Basically, the thick walls of the cathedral have passages through them. There are secret passages down either side of the main cathedral. The trick is that you don't know where the entrances are to get into those passages currently.
Right.
Oh, yep. That's something we need to look for.
You know they exist, but the brother Antony doesn't know where the doors actually, where they landed the doors, or what might still be in use from the time when they were built. It's where you put the pinhole, where they did all the sort of pinhole alcoves.
I'm wondering if any of those have access from the tower. Now, the tower was moved and the entrances might not be there, but that means we have access to some entrances without going through the tower. Presumably, we can get into the building by bypassing through where the tower is not. If only I had pass wall.
Buddy got a gaseous form?
No, I mean we got dimension door, invisibility, darkness. A lot more combat, like kill things orientated. Sorry, luck.
We need to find those entrances, and that's going to be the difficult part, isn't it?
Yes. And I'm not sure of the best way to do that aside from trying to sneak in ahead of time and find them. But I'm sure
Middle
they
of
have
the night?
people patrolling.
Night would be the best time.
Yes. Perhaps that is a good time to have the invisibility. Because interacting with like a door or something isn't an attack, so that wouldn't break.
No,
it,
no,
right?
no, no.
Yeah,
It's,
you
it's,
can go
it's something
sneak around.
where you either force someone to make a saving throw or you make an attack roll against them.
Yeah, it's cast a spell, yeah. So,
As-
our plan of action. Do we have a plan of action? Sneak in at night and try and find these access to these secret passages. And then at midday, murder spellcasters.
Yeah,
that the plan?
seems to be the plan.
Is that the plan? I'm okay with that being
That
the
sounds
plan.
like a plan.
That sounds like the plan.
It's nice to get these nice and clear before we start,
Yep.
so that we
Okay,
know
so, like,
just
so
how
murder
messed
them
up it
midday,
gets.
And then were we gonna try and no, actually, yeah, just murder them midday. Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, and then
And not deal
we
with
can.
the big creature in the tower.
Why don't we go after them when they're sleeping?
Because
We'll also try and find them when they're sleeping.
warded, maybe? I don't know.
Because things will then not go ahead as planned, and so there won't be a miracle, and there won't be a breach of faith and trust with the common folk, which will severely weaken the temple.
We need the people to see in person that what they proclaim is false. People can talk as much as they want. Seeing is not believing, I suppose, in this case.
And yeah, if we murder people before they show up, they can either be martyred or be explained away by the people who have the power and trust in the situation. So.
Do me a perception check. All y'all.
Oh, okay.
Yep, keeping an eye out at the camp because that might
Hey,
be not a
right.
bad
Thanks
idea.
for the subscription.
Yeah. 20.
Would you like me to roll for you, Celia?
Please.
Woo.
Oh, that was sad I didn't get that.
Cecilia, as as she is being a rogue, as you do. There are some people who are sort of wandering sort of towards your area. They do seem to be out foraging. They've got some fishing poles over top their shoulders. And then also sort of a small basket where they seem to have been picking some mushrooms and digging up some tubers along the bank of the nearby river. Just common folk, no one special, a man and a woman.
Does anyone want to try and talk to them and make friends and find out some ideas of...
That was the plan. I was literally about to have Celia wave to him and invite him over for conversation.
Hey, we're about to have some dinner. Want to join?
Yeah, Luna's in the ring.
There you go.
That's the plan.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
Inviting them for dinner.
they sort of look up and kind of look over to all of you. Roll me a persuasion check, Luck.
Oh dear.
I think at this point, Vidal will start begin going into a rest to get a long rest and a trance in. Since
Okay.
it only takes 4 hours.
Gotcha. You can do that. Again, it's about 6 o'clock, so you'd be
Yeah.
like 10 o'clock this evening. You would be rested. On a 13, they kind of look a little bit suspicious. But at least, hello, purity of spirit to you. But they don't.
Right.
Any luck? What all were you able to find for dinner?
I still have some spices left, so if
I mean, are we
Yeah.
eating rations or
hold on, I've got some stuff laying about. Hold on, I think I've.
have we been foraging?
I've still got some spices left. And does anyone have any meat?
Rations.
Yeah, no rations.
Uh,
Noodles.
we got noodles.
If you want to have his noodles, I mean,
Yeah.
he's been like
Yep.
saving them for a rainy day.
you
so-
have. And seeing as they've just got fish and roots, noodles, you say?
I have finger bones. If you want those. No, I didn't say that.
Okay, so they look
Didn't say that.
horrified.
I was just going through my items, and in my perishables, right next to the noodles, finger bones.
Finger bone soup.
Yeah, we
you can have
find
some
finger
horse
bones
feet.
in your ramen.
They go. We don't have enough really to share with all of you, but we certainly we'll give what we can. Share a fire at least. Do you mind if we
No, that's
cook what
fine.
we've brought with yours?
Yes,
Certainly,
come, sit.
we can share rations. I have a couple of just like trail rations. Top up the edges, you know.
Oh, that's nice.
They're not the most tasty, but it's good sustenance.
Yep. And like there is the stream close by. I mean, Luna, if you wanted to quickly rustle up some fish, you are a resident
Oh,
fisher person.
That's true. I think she would do her best to like rustle fish, like sneak in, sneak out, like pass out trace. Like she does not want to interact with these people at all.
Yeah, so you can sort of like, basically, they can, Iska's like, oh, our friend's gonna go fish. She's great. And as you
Yeah,
disappear.
it is like immediately steps in. It's like, hi, my name is Arvin.
Oh,
This is my son.
Hi,
Rel.
I'm Rebecca, and this is Tamil. Yeah,
Good to meet you. Good to meet you.
we're here. We come every month.
Yeah, every month. It's our first time
For the Call of,
traveling
oh, it's
here.
your first time for Call of Faith.
We heard about we want to actually see the cathedral. Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. They do services, every weekend. But the Call of Faith once a month. That's when the real miracles happen. There's other, acts of purity and amazing things. But when the choir comes out each month, that's when the real miracles happen. They seem very much enthusiastic and start to describe about the choir, and that during the other services that there's lots of minor miracles, little things that happen during the normal services, but the choir, that's what's special.
What do you know of the choir? I personally do not. I am of a different faith. I am just here for research purposes. Holds up his gauntlet.
Oh, do me a persuasion check.
All right. I'm gonna spend an advantage on this because I have some to burn. Thank you, chat. 13.
Yep. On a 13, they sort of look at you a little bit weird with the gauntlet and from another faith. There does seem to be a little bit of closed offness about people of other faith, but it's beautiful. It's heavenly. Their voices are amazing, and when they sing, it's when the bishop can make miracles happen. I mean, normal healing and thing that happens all the time, and just the grace of purity, all come together. All the gods, bring the purity with them, and during their normal services, it's beautiful. Some of the things that happen in the church, but the choir is amazing.
So it's the choir and presumably the staff that's actually the center point that we need to disrupt. Crap. Mental communication, by the way.
Yep. You certainly can do that. So
okay, well,
this is where are all of you from?
Once
Luna, you can roll me a dexterity check to for get fishing to see how your catch is, or however
my
we've been
son-
doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. So multiple projects is fine. 14.
14. You're again. It's fairly good waters here. You're able to catch enough for everybody easily to add some fish into the noodles.
Yep. Nope. So I just meant like she like ups them off and then goes back to not talking to them.
Yeah.
Like, nope.
I mean, if she wants, she could have just asked one of us and we'll just walk out and grab it and bring
Yeah.
it back.
Yep.
Yeah.
That'll work.
That works because you can talk mentally. Yep. So Axel comes and gets them and
Hold
brings
on.
back.
Yep. Myself and my son, we're wanderers. We've travelled all the roads of the north, and we decided, well, we heard about stuff down south, so we're coming down south to have a look.
I've never met a tabaxi before.
We're all over the place. You don't find us very easily.
Oh no. You travel a lot.
We travel a lot. We met with these friends because we all travel a lot. Although for different reasons, research and I just want to see everything. These two, I'm pretty sure they've been on the honeymoon for the last 5 years. Just traveling everywhere.
Wow. That must be nice.
I was just kneeling in a trance. Just
Yeah.
Saying weird things at this point.
Yeah. Do me I'll let you do a persuasion check, Axel.
I think he's probably just going to wink at that one because
Yeah.
he just thinks, oh dear, persuasion. That's fine. That's fine. It's not like he has the lowest number on that.
Yeah.
He's not exactly charismatic at the end of the day as well because I don't know. So
I mean, definitely from the
With
yeah, from the look on Cillia's
that's
face.
a -1.
yeah.
yeah,
So
with,
that's a 4.
with your bumbling, Iska, I will say that Iska steps in, being our charismatic person, and just don't mind him, and we'll just see what her roll is. Well, with a 27.
Casually, like, eh.
Don't mind the silly tabaxi.
Yeah, don't mind the silly tabaxi. She just starts playing a song, and with definitely some religious overtones to it, and it's of course beautiful because it's Iska, and they both look at each other. They can't keep looking at the sky as they've been there probably for about an hour as you all eat and talk and chat, and they go, well, and they look to Iska. So we're heading back. The reason why we always come a day early, the choir rehearses the night before. And they scurry out. You can hear them some if you get close to the cathedral, but they guard it so no one can go in and see.
No one uses it.
Mentally to Cillia. Rescue attempt?
Jeanette, yes. Axel has your gift from last time.
Oh yeah, the
okay.
finger bones.
Yeah.
The finger bones. They
Yeah.
have those written down. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
How kind of you.
Knuckle bones of doomed men.
It's great.
That was a great
Lovely.
scene.
24 fingers and 6 thumbs. And they, Tamil and Rebecca scurry off. Purity of spirit.
Mm.
Don't make a big deal if you try to go listen.
We won't.
We'll be very quiet about it. We're not creepy at all.
Yeah, they kind of
Look,
look at
look,
the
that's-
scary tabaxi.
looks at Axel like,
What? Come on.
Not a lich.
I'm just.
Totes not a lich. Totes.
Toad's not a lich. I'm having fun. What are you talking about?
Just
oh,
Food.
So yeah, they've run off. What would you all like to do?
Go to that choir rehearsal.
So
Bust
yeah,
it
that's
out.
an opportunity. That's an opportunity to do something.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep. All right, let's go.
Do y'all have a plan, or y'all just
No.
storming
Why
the
would we
cast?
plan?
Damn it!
Let's just go. Do it.
I mean, we can
You
go there
know-
and get a plan on the way, right? 'Cause-
You know, I think we've just gotten to a point where every time we plan, something goes wrong to make that plan not happen.
That is true.
I don't have a plan. I don't have a plan, but
But- Every time we
Just go.
wing it,
yeah.
good things happen.
No, there's once where we've had a plan and it's gone off without a hitch. I'm certain.
Yeah. I'm sure. at
There's
some
been
point.
that one time we've had a plan and it's gone perfect because we all rolled what we needed to, but that's rare.
I think the only time that actually happened was at Florian's party.
Yeah, that's the only time that's ever
Florian's
worked.
party.
Yeah.
That's,
Yep.
Hey, it's only been
So-
100. There's only been
That's
100
pretty-
episodes.
okay.
Okay, what did we do that made that
And-
plan work?
And the attack on the Mars Syndicate as well, I think, went pretty well.
Yeah, actually, that went very well.
That's true. That did go pretty well. It was
Yep.
just a
We
little.
had help.
I mean,
Yeah.
somebody died, but they got back up. It's fine.
I don't
Yeah,
know,
they
I-
got back up.
we can always
I
we can always hope divine intervention.
yeah, that's it. We need help.
No, we
That's the
should
key.
make some sort of plan so that way we know
All
what
right.
the fallback is when it inevitably fails.
Yeah.
What are we
Alright.
trying to do?
Yeah, what are you, I mean,
What, are we trying to break them out? Are we just trying
Are we-
to scout out at an opportune moment?
Hmm.
That's the other thing is, yeah, you certainly, if Celia wants to trade, since she was not here early, if you would like to take your turn to actually do some scouting, I will be
Yeah,
happy to
I think
allow you to
that's-
do that since you were not here for your turn.
Yes, please.
So, yeah, so you tell me how you want to tell me how you would like what you would like to do to try to get a little bit to inform your party of, because again, right now it's only about 6 or 7 o'clock, so you don't know when this rehearsal occurs, but apparently it is this evening to prepare for tomorrow.
All right. So, Celia does what Celia does, puts her hood up, and
Roll me that stealth check with advantage because of all the damn things that you have.
I need someone to do that for me.
Oh. Oh, great! With a natural 20.
You want me to
Nice.
make her invisible as well?
I mean,
Please.
I was
sure.
gonna say invisibility just gives you advantage, which she has normally because of her cloak
But
of
it
elven
also
kind.
gives, like, no one else will ever see her as well.
Well, yes, even if I don't. Well, there is a
Going.
chance, I guess.
It's like she'll be like a ghost. Oh.
Oh, hey, there's a new ghost. There's a new ghost in town. Just,
There's a
just,
new
just
ghost
go
in
read
town.
those assassins' chest because that's where she carved it into them.
She did say, she did
Jesus.
tell us about that one.
Yes,
Yep.
you know that
She
lava.
said, "Beware the new ghost."
Yep.
Right into their chest.
I think you're kind of branded because you do have a lava tongue rapier, so it was ugly. It was not pleasant.
Did you
On
use
that
correct
note, I don't have-
punctuation at least?
Yeah, no tongues, no fingers, so they can't speak or write, but they can deliver a message.
You know what's the worst part? Let's hope we don't get into a fight because I have like no combat spells prepared. Everything's for sneaking in.
So where's the rest of the party waiting? Are they going to wait here, sort of out of the compound? Are you all going to try to like go to the camp, hang out there in case you're a little bit closer? It's about a 15 to 20 minutes away.
Vidar is still trancing.
Vidar is still trancing, and also he's wanted.
Yep.
But
So
I'm far enough
let's
away
just-
that people won't come
Let's
to me,
just
right?
stuff him in the ring.
yeah, they escorted you basically off the grounds. Pretty much just booted you out of the bar.
Exactly.
Off
fine,
the
I'm
other
fine.
side of the bridge. So you're fine.
Stuff him in the ring.
Stuff me in the ring.
I'm gonna go into the camp and try and get close enough to hear the choir.
Okay. So Iska will join you there in the camp. Luna, what would you like to do?
I really don't want to be being seen by any of the campers, so I probably just hang back.
Okay,
Yeah.
hang
I
back.
think Axel's stuck with Luna.
And okay, so Axel,
Like they did last
Vidar, Luna, and Riley are hanging out at the
Yep.
sort of meeting point about 500 feet away, 500 yards away, which is within telepathic communication. So,
Yeah.
I can always be in the ring if Celia wants backup. Ha! Celia wants backup.
Celia's gone.
She's
She's like,
Celia went-
sure,
Celia's
back
gone
up.
forever.
Yeah, she's still at the ring. Yeah, doesn't matter. Right.
So,
Not right now.
Celia, you blend like literally so much that like everyone sitting around the campfire thought that that basically like Rebecca, one of Rebecca's friends, showed up. But yeah, no, you wander down the. How are you wandering down the road? How at a nat 20 stealth check? How do you want to do this? Where are you going?
So I'm gonna go scout where I was supposed to go scout before.
Oh, okay. We'll let you do that.
Yeah.
Um, tell you what, yeah, and on the natural 20, I'm going to go ahead and give you, we'll go ahead and give you the detailed that you're able to scout the rectory. So let me do the piece there, and I will send it to you, and you can tell me how you would like to proceed.
Never send a Vidar to do a Celia's job.
True.
Yeah.
So, you don't have roll 20, do you?
I don't.
You don't. Okay.
You can send it to me over Twitter.
I also have Celia sheet. I can.
Well, here you go. I mean, so just so you can read it, I'll just put it in I'll put it in a chat.
Oh, right, you're sending everything. Yep.
Yeah, it works.
So you basically have all three there, all three reports there.
Okay.
So you kind of need to read the whole thing so you've got the full picture because they build on each other.
Yes. Okay. I will. I just want to confirm because Celia.
Yep.
I'm going to make sure that the spiral staircases do give access to the roofs.
Okay. So you can head your way to this concealed spiral staircase, and do me an investigation check. You can have advantage on this, as you are so well stealthed. You can take your time.
Somebody roll for me, I believe.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Vidar
was,
or whoever can roll for Celia for an investigation with advantage.
Investigation. I got it. Don't worry.
Okay.
Y'all got this.
17 and 18. Basically the same idea. So yeah, you stealth up this spiral staircase all the way up to the rooftops. And you do find that it does lead all the way to the rooftops, where you can spot the guards that you had who were concealed up here, and also the other equipment that was concealed up here underneath of tarps as well. Roll me a perception check, if y'all, either Luna or Vidar, whoever's rolling. So on a 23, as you are standing there quietly on this corner staircase, you do see someone cross across the roof and disappear into a small alcove about 30 feet away from you. It is on the wall that's adjacent to the cathedral.
Did it look like someone with my skill set?
It did not. It actually, they were wearing robes. They were wearing silver robes. Like clergy.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not gonna follow them, but I'm going to go look down the alcove.
Okay. You again will keep you on your nat 20 across this roof is not hard as you can spot the patterns of these guards. And as you peek in, you can see what looks to be a concealed door slowly swinging shut. You do not see the person, but this room's only about 5 by 5, and you can see this one sort of wall that has this door that looks like bricks. It's just now starting to swing shut.
I open my little hood and I say to my little buddy, it says, time for you to do your job.
And what would you like him to do?
And I motion to the swinging door, and I say, stay to the roofs. I just want you to peek in and come back.
Okay. He goes through, and through the two sides, you can sort of, you hear him go back the other way, comes back and does a little minor illusion and just basically shows you that it's a long hallway that would look like it would be parallel to the length of the cathedral. And he shows you basically the image of looks like two people. It's from a high angle, as though he's looking down, as though there's two people near an altar talking.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna go eavesdrop.
Okay. You sneak in there. Go ahead and do me another stealth with all the things that you always have, just so that we can play this game.
Play this game.
Yep.
My advantage, their disadvantage to see me. It's great.
All that good stuff. Vidar, can you roll a stealth with advantage for Celia? On a 22.
22.
Yes, you are able to. You sneak down this hallway, and just through little taps, he points you in the way of where to go down to where he was looking, and you find a very small peephole. It looks like you are again rooftops. You're up on what would be the equivalent of the third floor, looking down on the main altar space. You see inside of there, you see a older gentleman in very ornate robes with a large staff. It has a big blue tear-shaped crystal on the top of it, much like the ones that are in Luna's gauntlets. Mm-hmm. And you do see that there are quite a few other sort of acolytes positioned around the room, near the doors, about midway up, and whatever. And then there's another figure back to you with dark hair, wearing not as ornate, but silver robes. You can see that the older gentleman he's guiding him, and the younger gentleman who has their back to you has their hand underneath this older gentleman's elbow, so he is elderly and not needs a little bit of assistance, and is speaking back and forth to him. Do me a perception check.
Vidar, give me a perception check.
Interesting. As you are here listening,
Wow.
Yeah, there are things that you hear. It's because of one being to their back. We're going to use both these rolls. You're able to discern, because of lip reading, basically, the older gentlemen, but you are not able to hear or understand what the younger gentleman is saying. And the older gentleman, they said, "What do you mean they're not coming tonight?" We have to practice, we have to rehearse. I need to make sure everything is proper for tonight. And you can't hear the other person speaking. And, "Leave me be. I need to pray. Go get the choir." And you see the younger gentleman help lower the older gentleman down onto his knees in front of the altar using the staff. And you see the younger gentleman look around to each of the other acolytes, catching each one of their eyes as they look from, and you see all of the acolytes turn their backs to the altar. You watch as from inside the robes the younger gentleman pulls out a dagger that glows blue. Very much the same blue as the crystal on the top of it. And you see him plunge the dagger into the back of the older gentleman. When he pulls it out, there is no wound, there is no blood, but you see the older gentleman clutch his chest, and now you can hear the younger one yell out, "Quick! Get the clerics! The bishop's health has failed him." And you see the acolytes begin to run. And as the younger gentleman lowers the bishop, down to the ground, as he's clutching his chest, you can see his last breaths as you take him, and the younger gentleman grabs the staff. And as he turns around, you see a familiar face of Deacon Marks from Verdant Falls, as he stands there and looks lovingly at the staff and puts the dagger into his belt. And that is where we're going to end our session today.
Oh, he real dead.
No, it's Deacon.
Real
Oh,
dead.
Deacon!
That's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds.
I'm interested to hear Luna's reaction when
Yeah, 'cause
Celia
she
tells her this.
Doesn't know right now.
Oh, I'm gonna miss it.
We're gonna kill a deacon. We're gonna kill a deacon.
I mean, the
We
bishop.
can wonder about a lot of other people. He dies.
I'll make an exception for him.
I'm sad now.
Anyway, so let's go around and see where we can meet all of our players out there on the interwebs. Dragons, I know, I feel bad.
Hello, everyone. I am Vidar. I am Dragons and Cats playing Vidar Falcon, and that was a bit of fun to just I'm glad Celia got to the more important points, because that's what matters most. You can find me on the interwebs as Dragons and Cats on the Twitches and the Twitter. You can find me on Wednesday night doing Dragons Brew D&D, and Monday nights doing Underachievers D&D, where I run my own D&D games, and that's it. I'm not going to be here next week, so someone get my mask back, kill the chaplain, have fun with Vidar. Frontline assault.
Templar Warden.
Hello, I am Templar Warden, not a lich, playing not a lich Axel. Not a lich. You can find me anywhere on the net at not a lich, no, at Templar Warden. You can find me at Rainer Templar on Twitter, and you can find me and everyone else in the Discord for the Vice, which I will put in chat. This was an interesting session. Axel doing a lot of thinking and a lot of murder plans, because of course he's a good guy who is not a lich.
Yes, murder
Anyway.
plans for the not a lich.
Good fun session, and I'm really interested in seeing how things unfold as we enter into this invasion while there's a
A coup.
A coup, that's the word. Yeah. Be interesting.
And the church hierarchy. Interesting. Tree hugging druid.
Hello, I am Tree Druid. You can go find me on Twitter. I can't post my link in the chat because I'm on my phone. Sorry.
Next up, NG9. With
Hey.
murder in her eyes.
I play Energy 9. Luna is not aware, but as soon as she is aware, he's dead. I don't, somebody gonna have to hold the earrings and the rings. He's dead. I don't care if I have to crawl over everybody else. He's dead.
And last but not least, Good Guy Pie.
Look, most of the time. All right, let's think about it. We don't need to kill these people. Look with the deacon.
Like, oh, it's such a nice book. Oh, my
A perfect
sword
book
is
for
so
that too.
shiny.
The absolute perfect book to put up.
You can find me at Good Guy Pie on the Twitches and Too Good To Guy on the Twitters, and yeah, I'll be there. Catch me there. I'm stuff. I have no way to end this.
There you go, stuff and things and stuff. I'm Tall Squall. I hope you all enjoyed this. Hope you enjoyed our new mechanic that we tried out tonight. We wanted to see, I kind of wanted to play with this idea of having these levels of scouting reports of how much information they had to work off of as they planned the assault of the Cathedral of Purity. Apparently people are going to die next week, and it's just a matter of how and when. Anyway, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you for the support of our channel as always. And until next time, gather your friends together and tell a story. We are going to run a raid on somebody. I just got to find who that's going to be. There we go. Let me see who's live out there in Twitch land.
Live and in color.
Live and in color. Who do we have out there? Golly, not a lot of folks live today. So let me do a quick see who's just out there Dungeons and Dragonsing. Wow, really not a lot of folks.
So aren't you glad you tuned in to our station?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say. See, we must have a great time because no one else is playing D&D right now. There you go. So let's just throw you guys to hear some folks who are Anino Gaming. They sound like they've got a nice frames. So we're gonna go raid them and just send some D&D love. Why are we raiding you? You had nice frames.
We like your frames.
We like your frames. Nice frames, dude. You can't.
Yeah,
Oh, dude, they've got their
frames.
raids turned off. We can't raid their channel.
Wow.
Wow.
We're trying real hard to
You know what?
We are trying to be positive and helpful.
Community builders.
Community
and-
builders. Okay.
And this is
I
how we're
don't want to
treating.
be rated. That's okay.
Tell you what, we're gonna.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's a rerun. We were not gonna raid those people. Wow.
Can we raid ourselves?
Okay, here we go. Here's Kobu.
Is it?
We can raid Kobu.
Okay, are you sure?
Well,
Sure.
I don't know. They're live. They're playing something.
If you like,
Oh, yeah,
I
that-
can go live, and then we
He's
can
the
just
big
go.
guy.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah, Kobe, I know him. Yeah.
There we go.
Cool.
We're gonna
Okay,
raid Kobu.
yay!
We got a raid coming up. Wow. But anyway, folks, until next time, be supportive of your community and gather your friends together and tell a story. Thanks for tuning in. It's going to be a fun one next week. I got some planning to do. Y'all have fun now. Bye-bye. And
Huzzah.